Hello to all astrology lovers. Today we are discussing the upcoming new moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. It will take place on November 1st at 14:46, our time in 9 to 10 degrees of the sign. In general, before we examine the features of this full moon, let's discuss what this astrological event is and how it manifests in our lives. Firstly, the new moon is an astrological event when the moon and the sun align in the same zodiac sign, appearing at the same point in the sky from the perspective of an observer on Earth. At this moment, the moon is positioned between the Earth and the sun, and its illuminated side is not visible, making it seem to disappear. The new moon always opens a new cycle that lasts about 29.5 days, and in general, the new moon activates energies in our lives that are related to the initiation of everything new. This means it is a time for launches, planning, and manifesting our desires and intentions. The energies of the new moon are considered the beginning and symbol of new beginnings, new desires, and plans, like a blank slate. It is a time when we can make any wishes and build plans. Moreover, the new moon strongly focuses us on our intuition. It creates a deep inner focus because it is during the new moon that the sun and the moon connect. This aspect always brings us events, but I also refer to it as a kind of bridge where our consciousness connects with our subconscious. We are receiving a completely new volume of information that will manifest for us in the next period, which will mark a specific new moon. Naturally, the characteristics of the new moon's manifestation and its energy depend on the specific sign of the zodiac in which it occurs, as well as in which house of the horoscope this astrological event is realized. Here we can already look at our individual natal charts and understand which area of life the new moon will specifically activate in the next 5 to 6 months. In addition, I believe that the new moon is essentially a monthly reboot of our lives when we can start something anew, restart something, or basically launch or begin from scratch. And it is important to consider that the moon is a manifestation of our psyche, our subconscious. Therefore, it is very important here. During this period, pay attention to your inner voice. And now let's consider the specific features of this new moon. It occurs in the sign of Scorpio. What does this mean for each of us? The new moon in Scorpio is a period that will be filled with very deep transformations, profound emotional renewals, and our rebirth. Symbolically, this is the 8th house, the house of Scorpio, the house of personal change and transformation. In astrology, it is primarily associated with spirituality, themes of death and rebirth, and personal change. The 8th house also relates to resources, intimate relationships, closeness, and esotericism. For those for whom it is relevant, the 8th house also opens certain opportunities. That is, it is the house of trust, the house where we encounter very deep psychological and emotional processes that always lead us to personal rebirth. It is important to consider that this new moon in Scorpio opens a period for us until May 12th, 2025. The waxing moon will be active until November 15th, 2024, and we have 2 weeks to manifest our intentions, plan something new, launch new goals and tasks. We are already looking specifically at which area of the horoscope this event will take place for each of you. Now, let's take a closer look at what the energies activated by this new moon in Scorpio raise certain themes and can create various life situations. First of all, I would like to remind you that this is a theme of transformation and rebirth. It is a process of destroying the old in order to make room for the creation of the new. And here this new moon can renew perspectives and let go of what no longer serves us. This is about courage, about the depth of emotions, about sensuality, about intuition. These are all the energies of Scorpio that we will bring to the surface during the action of this new moon. And the main themes that will be activated are, of course, personal emotional boundaries, especially in relationships. This topic involves working with the shadow side of our personality, focusing on inner fears, hidden motives, and repressed emotions. During this new moon, we have the opportunity to rid ourselves of toxic relationships, restore balance in important and meaningful relationships, or renew them. Additionally, the themes of control and ownership of resources, finances, shared resources, debt obligations, financial stability, and security will come to the forefront. And many of us will be prompted by this new moon to reevaluate these areas of our lives. When it comes to possible life situations, there are scenarios related to relationships and the expression of emotions within those relationships. These are themes of some hidden grievances. These are themes of unresolved issues with close people in relationships. This is a very suitable period for sincere conversations, either about the topic of parting or about the topic of renewing relationships. This is a great time to reassess your financial approach to life. It is also a good time to focus on personal projects and your career. The 8th house also corresponds to entrepreneurship and investments. Therefore, it is a good period, especially for launching these aspects of life. The new moon in Scorpio occurs at 9 to 10 degrees. Of course, there is also a certain symbolism here, the symbolism of deep personal transformation here. What will be important for us is the revelation of the hidden aspects of our soul and our striving to understand the mysteries of life. Speaking of the symbolism of degrees, according to the Sabian symbols, the 9th degree in Scorpio demonstrates to us a picture of how a dentist works. It is a picture that emphasizes importance, the removal of what can disrupt our inner or outer harmony, that is the degree of liberation from discomfort, from painful situations and habits that hinder our spiritual or emotional growth. It symbolizes purification and the opportunity to strengthen one's personal core. Speaking of the 10th degree of Scorpio, this degree shows us a symbol depicting deep sea, divers who collect pearls. That is, the emphasis here is already on diving into one's subconscious to search for the pearl of wisdom that is hidden beneath the surface. That is, this symbol inspires us to explore the depths of our psyche, willingness to take risks for a valuable outcome, and achieving awareness precisely through inner searches. In general, if we summarize the energy of the new moon in these degrees of Scorpio, we can understand that the emphasis is on achieving entirely new levels of understanding through emotional and spiritual cleansing, as well as through the search for valuable experiences. It is precisely in the depths of one's subconscious. That is to say, this period is very strongly synchronized with the 8th house, and this cycle encourages one to free themselves from some old discomfort and from some pain, some fears, resentments. This is a period when we can intuitively discover some of our hidden talents and inner gifts that were previously inaccessible to us, and apply them to renew ourselves and move forward in life. And if we talk about the ruler of this new moon, this time, there are two, the planet Pluto and the co-ruler, the planet Mars, which gives a very curious twist to this new moon, because at the moment of the exact conjunction of the moon and the sun, these two planets are in an opposition aspect. Pluto has been direct since October, but it is still in Capricorn, while Mars is located in the sign of Cancer and also in the last degrees, just like Pluto. Be sure to pay attention to which houses of the horoscope these two planets are located in for you. If It is important to note that if these planets do not create an opposition in your personal chart, do not attribute the aspect to yourself. So, to begin with, what do we have with Pluto in the last degrees of the sign of Capricorn? Here it symbolizes the 29 to 30 degrees of Capricorn, representing the culmination of a very long cycle of deep transformations in the structures and foundations of our lives. Pluto in the final degrees of Capricorn carries a very powerful energy of completion and transformation, especially regarding issues of power and control. This concerns stable systems affecting both society and the personal lives of each of us. This degree is associated with the farewell to outdated structures and views that require a very strong radical renewal. Here there is a sort of pulling away of such old forms, creating space for a new approach to life and for transformation. Pluto in this position intensifies the energy of the new moon, focusing our attention on the necessity of implementing these deep changes, particularly regarding issues of responsibility, discipline, and social roles. And of course, a very wise and sober approach to these changes is needed here. Speaking of the second co-ruler, about Mars, it is also located at 29 to 30 degrees of the zodiac sign Cancer, where the focus is on very strong emotional drives and the culmination of our internal conflicts related to themes of safety, family, relationships, and emotional attachments. Here, Mars in Cancer completes a cycle related to the protection of personal boundaries and the need to safeguard oneself and loved ones. This is, of course, accompanied by a strong sense of vulnerability and emotional tension. These degrees enhance the determination to protect one's values and emotional boundaries, but at the same time they require letting go of outdated forms of dependency or excessive caution in our lives. Mars in this position emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between actively defending one's boundaries and values and addressing the needs of those around us, especially in the context of family and close relationships. Considering that this is an opposition, it is the opposition of the two rulers of this new moon. And of course, the aspect creates a very powerful, such energies of tension between the desire for control and stability and our emotional needs, our defensive reactions. That is the aspect of such deep internal and external struggle when each of us has to face a conflicting situation related to duty and emotional attachment between social demands and personal needs. The energy of opposition activates hidden fears and compels us to address issues of power and control, and this can manifest in work, in relationships, in family, in marriage, and in business relationships, absolutely in any sphere. Of course, the opposition activates key themes such as issues of control, vulnerability, very intense emotions, and tension. And speaking of situations, conflicts will arise in relationships, especially related to family and work, where completely different needs and expectations collide. For example, professional ambitions and the need to maintain some emotional connection with loved ones. There will be situations related to tests of endurance and maturity. Situations will be created here for the transformation of one's personal boundaries. And the opposition will push each of us to reconsider our personal boundaries in relationships. It is important to choose your personal needs and not to compromise them for the sake of external matters. Some obligations, debts, or circumstances now consider the aspects that work in the background during this new moon in Scorpio. Of course, it complements the opposition of Pluto and Mars. Another position is the aspect between the two karmic nodes, the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra at 6 to 7 degrees. This aspect emphasizes the energetic transition from seeking harmony and dependence on the opinions of others to the theme of self-assertion and initiative. The aspect creates conditions where we are forced to seek a balance between comfort and the necessity to act independently, following our own desires and goals. The South Node in Libra symbolizes our past habits and behavioral patterns related to yielding, striving for compromise, and focusing on partnership. The North Node in Aries requires the development of individuality, confidence, and decisiveness. The main themes of this aspect are, of course, dependence and independence, the theme of initiative and personal power, and the possible situations that will arise for each individual. Of course, this involves various challenges in relationships, the theme of career and personal growth through active actions related to the North Node in Aries. This theme is about achieving inner balance when we need to overcome some dependency on others' opinions and the desire to be good for everyone alongside our personal need for self-expression. In Aries, we strive to put ourselves first. It is also worth paying attention to two oppositions, the opposition of Venus in Sagittarius and retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, as well as Mercury in Scorpio and retrograde Uranus in Taurus. The Venus-Jupiter aspect gives us energetic tension between our thirst for freedom in relationships and our philosophical views, along with the theme of revising beliefs that can be either very superficial or unreliable. Here, retrograde Jupiter is at work. Venus in Sagittarius seeks a broad perspective, openness, and inspiration. This can manifest in the search for different experiences and romantic opportunities. Retrograde Jupiter here emphasizes the need to return to the roots, to explore the roots of a situation or problem, to examine the details, and to rethink existing views and approaches. And of course, the aspect gives us conflict and internal conflict, especially in the themes of love and finances. And here, of course, there may be impulsiveness and a certain lightness due to Venus, but retrograde Jupiter, of course, brings us back to reevaluating personal values and priorities. And another aspect is Mercury and retrograde Uranus. Here, there is a clash between intense deep thinking related to Mercury and the desire for a breakthrough, innovative, and transformative unconventional thinking. And since Mercury is in Scorpio, it tends to be very detail-oriented in its analysis, almost like in Virgo, but even deeper, based on an intuitive kind of perception. And here, a very strong desire to uncover some hidden true motives manifests, especially in situations that are very superficial. Retrograde Uranus in Taurus is certainly pulling us towards super radical changes through some unexpected insights, and these themes may relate to our material stability and established habits. This is because Uranus in Taurus creates opposition, leading to sudden insights or situations where information surfaces very unexpectedly, prompting us to reconsider old beliefs or previously made decisions. This all manifests in communications and conflicts related to Mercury. And, of course, it is important to be very flexible and ready to accept these changes here and now in order to make completely new decisions. However, at the time of the new moon in Scorpio, harmonious aspects are also at work. The most important of these are the trines. The trine of Neptune, the trine of Neptune, the trine of Neptune, Neptune with Mercury and Mars, which organize a large trine in the sky for us, a large triangle that provides a very powerful combination of energies, activating our intuition and creating deep emotional interactions among those around us. I remind you that retrograde Neptune in Pisces directs our attention to the theme of the inner world, intuition, and creative self-expression, as well as some of our feelings and ideals. Mercury in Scorpio enhances our analytical abilities, allowing us to penetrate the essence of things and find hidden meanings in any communication. Mars in Cancer emphasizes the theme of protecting our values, emotions, and boundaries. This combination of energies contributes to the formation of situations where intuition and empathy become very important tools in all types of relationships. Additionally, creative solutions to problems related to our emotions can be found here, and inspiration in art can manifest strongly in various forms of creativity. Conflicts can also be resolved by using these energies very gently. Furthermore, we continue to work with the 3 harmonious aspects. We talked about them earlier in other videos. They provide us with very powerful supportive energies to help us undergo these transformations more easily. It is also important to note that the Sun, at the time of the new moon, which represents our consciousness, is in a trine with the planet of karma, retrograde Saturn in Pisces. And the trine gives us a very harmonious connection between our personal transformations and discipline. According to Saturn, the Sun in Scorpio will guide us towards self-discovery, our emotional experiences, and the desire for transformation, while the retrograde will focus on rethinking our duties, responsibilities, boundaries, and analyzing past experiences to find completely new, mature approaches to our goals and life situations. Therefore, the trine is very supportive, activating our personal power, but with structural support from Saturn. The moon is also in this aspect in relation to Saturn, but here the influence occurs at the level of the subconscious, affecting our psyche. Thus, the energies of this aspect can be very well utilized to our advantage. Now, let's consider the new moon in Scorpio separately for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Dear Libra, the new moon in Scorpio is in your 2nd house of the horoscope, emphasizing your attention on material values, your financial stability, and themes of self-esteem. And I remind you that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. There will be depth, there will be intensity, and there will be transformations in these matters. That is, everything related to your money and your personal resources. And this is a time when you can reconsider your financial strategies as well as your inner beliefs regarding money, everything that affects your financial security and your self-esteem. Here, the energy of Scorpio will contribute to very deep personal transformation, specifically in your approach, the use of money and material resources will be influenced by this new moon, creating situations for you such as a review of your financial goals, reassessment of your financial approach, and sources of income and expenses, meaning your budget. It will prompt you to consider how all of this can be changed for the better. And in addition, there will be situations that will transform your self-esteem. There will be changes in situations related to your material resources, including financial discussions and various conversations about money with close ones or business partners. And here, situations will arise very well, where it will be necessary to explore one's needs, specifically through the context of financial well-being. In order to work with the energies of this new moon, you should take time for self-analysis of your financial situation, or use various writing practices where you can identify certain beliefs or views regarding money, material resources, or your self-esteem, if relevant to you. This is a great time to work on your beliefs, to create a financial plan for the next 6 months, and to discuss any material issues with your loved ones, including your partner and business partnerships and alliances. It is very good to invest in yourself here. This way, you will be able to work with the energy of this new moon. Additionally, consider that the opposition between the rulers of this new moon, between Pluto and Mars, affects your 4th and 10th houses. It is clear that situations related to your family relationships, and relationships with parents will come to the forefront. Everything related to family history, real estate, your lineage, moving, and changing residence will be addressed. It occurs within the context of the financial situation and pertains to the 10th house. The 10th house is associated with career and professional growth. Of course, there will be situations arising related to conflicts between your personal and professional life. There will be emotional crises during this period related to themes of home, work, and finances. And there will be changes in family living conditions. And there may be situations where it will be necessary to find balance, because this is an opposition after all. It will be important to work on your inner conflicts in this context. It is very beneficial to engage in intensive interactions with colleagues and family regarding the themes of the 4th and 10th houses in order to find the best solutions for oneself. In any case, I wish you success. Subscribe, like, and share this video.